Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Figured it was probably time for a live stream. Everyone, and thanks for. So let me post this in a few different places, and then we will jump in. How's everyone doing? All right. So, what has changed? Well, the main thing that has changed from yesterday until today is Bitcoin's above the 20-day, right? Let's play this move one step at a time, right? There's no reason to get ahead of ourselves. As we always say, time is on our side. There's going to be dips. Time is on our side when it comes to Bitcoin, when it comes to cryptocurrency in general. So, with that in mind, where are we today? Well, we're back above the 20-day moving average. Why is that important? Well, a lot of times when Bitcoin is above the 20-day moving average, it can, if it's, not only if it's above the 20-day, but if it's well above the 20-week moving average, right, which is not always above the 20-day, but if it's above the 20-day, which is above the 20-week, and Bitcoin's relatively bullish and very far extended from the 20-week moving average, and then you get the bounce. The bounce heard around the world, right? If it stabilizes, so what are you looking for? You guys know the drill. What are we looking for? For altcoins to move. We want it in here. Okay, that's what we want. If Bitcoin does not chill out, so we have, a few different scenarios, right? So if Bitcoin just immediately goes back to 58 and starts putting in higher numbers and goes to like the $60,000, $70,000 range, we know what to expect in that scenario, right? Alts will bleed against Bitcoin for the most part. Yeah, some pet projects of yours might do okay, but for the most part, the altcoin valuations against Bitcoin would likely bleed during that time. The nice thing, though, is that a lot of coins, including Ethereum, would probably get dragged up against you in terms of its USD valuation, kicking and screaming, of course. But the valuation of Ethereum would likely do well if Bitcoin were to start trending back up. Maybe Ethereum gets dragged back up to $2,000. If you remember, Ethereum got to $2,000, but it was not an impressive $2,000. What does that mean? Like, why was it not impressive? Well, the reason it got to 2K was because Bitcoin was dragging it, kicking and screaming, not because Ethereum was doing anything on its own. Because Ethereum was going to Ethereum hit 2K back over here. If we look at where it actually hit 2K, I don't know why I'm looking at a minute time frame right now. If you look at where Ethereum hit, it was on February 20th. Okay, February 20th, and then if you look to see when Bitcoin, or when Ethereum started to depreciate in its Bitcoin valuation, well, February 20th, the Ether Bitcoin valuation was nothing to get out of bed for, right? I mean, it's just dropping. All it's doing is dropping. So why would we care about the Ether Bitcoin valuation in that scenario? Let me check something. Let me go over here and then come back. This is unfortunate. I think my oh, there it is. I was wanting to get these lines back on the chart. So the reason why a 2K Ethereum a couple weeks ago was not really impressive is because, well, the Bitcoin valuation of Ethereum was bleeding. And we're better than that, right? We don't just look at the USD valuation, because we always say we have high expectations for the coins we hold. If they can't outperform Bitcoin during the cycle, then we dump them, right? There's no point. Well, I'm not telling you financial advice. I'm just saying, if you're holding altcoins that are constantly putting in lower returns when compared to Bitcoin, then you have to ask yourself, why the hell are you holding them? And some people say, you know, alt season hasn't started yet. And I would say that, I mean, there have been some alt seasons sprinkled in here. And one of the things I think is that sometimes people will assume that alt season hasn't started because their altcoin of choice hasn't put in very impressive gains. And maybe it's just that the altcoin of choice that you have is just not worthwhile. Maybe it's just not going to pump. And I don't say that, you know, I mean, I don't say that in a mean way. I'm just saying it because back in 2017, there were a lot of coins from 2013 that did not pump again. Or if they did not make it to their prior all-time highs. So I would expect a lot of coins that are out there to not necessarily make it to their prior all-time highs. Some people are probably sitting there waiting for them to make it to the all-time highs. They may never do it because there's plenty of coins from 2013 that went parabolic that did not do anything in 2017. In the same way, there's going to be coins, you know, in later cycles that are not going to perform as well as they did in a prior cycle. Competition will come, and only the best will stand the test of time. Let's talk about the projects we follow. We sometimes talk about other projects, but we primarily follow Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, ADA, and DOT. Well, Bitcoin's at a new all-time high, Ethereum hit a new all-time high, Link hit a new all-time high a long time ago, ADA is a champ, it hit a new all-time high despite the mountain it had to climb, and DOT, I mean, it wasn't around last cycle, so it's just, yeah, it's putting in new all-time highs. Yeah, if Forbes is calling you, Jake, just, I would say hold them off for a while longer because we're not done here, right? We're not done yet. All right. Yeah, I sneezed. You know, it's funny, even if I sneeze in non-live streams, I still don't edit it out because I'm like, who cares, right? Who has the time to edit videos when you can just start making a new one and talk about something else? So the Ether Bitcoin valuation. So okay, let's look at Bitcoin. What are the things we said that Ethereum needs to rally? Okay, we just made a video on it last night. We said it's 3 major things, right? Bitcoin was on a move. It was putting in new all-time highs. Ethereum hit new all-time highs, and it went to 2K, kicking and screaming because, as you can see, the Bitcoin valuation was bleeding while Ethereum was putting in that valuation at $2,000. That was the first thing. So Bitcoin was doing relatively well above the 20-week. Then what did we say? Bitcoin needs to correct. By the way, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. We're at 189 likes. Let's get to at least 1,000 likes. We're just putting in rookie numbers at this point. So the second thing is Bitcoin needs a correction. Why? Well, a lot of times people won't garnish a lot of attention in Ethereum or a lot of, you know, other altcoin. Some other altcoins are a little bit different, but a lot of times for Ethereum, it will only make a major move against Bitcoin after Bitcoin has a significant correction. And it's not always. There's going to be times, right, here, there, a day or two here and there where it can. But in order to see momentum shifts in the market, you would like to see, and a sustained momentum shift, you would like to see Bitcoin volatility reduce back down. Maybe it's consolidating, slowly bleeding like Bitcoin was doing through January when Ethereum was going crazy against Bitcoin. This is what you want to see. And back in the summer, Ethereum was going crazy, leading into a major blow off top for the Ether Bitcoin valuation. And then from there, Bitcoin took the reins until December. And then Ethereum took it back in January. We said this is what we expect. We said if we expect January to be the month for Ethereum. It usually is. It's the 6th year in a row. We'll look again this coming year. In December, are we going to be seeing a Q4 bleed of Ethereum against Bitcoin? If it is, the same thing holds. We're not saying it has to happen, but it happens 6 years in a row. We identified it 2 years ago. It happened the 5th year, and it happened the 6th year. We'll see if it happens the 7th later this year, going into the next January. So, with that said, though, we can have intermediate moves, right? You don't have to, it's not like everything comes in January. This was a summer move. Here we had a move in April, and we've had other moves before in other months. So the first thing, Bitcoin is going crazy. Second thing, Bitcoin has a correction. We had that. Third thing, Bitcoin has to bounce ideally above the 20-day moving average, right? We want Bitcoin to ideally go above the 20-day moving average. Now, I've seen Ethereum rally against Bitcoin before when Bitcoin was below its 20-week moving average, so I'm not going to say that Bitcoin has to decisively stay above its 20-day for Ethereum to make a major rally. However, if history is any indication, what it would imply is that if Ethereum does rally and Bitcoin is above its 20-day moving average, then it could actually have a more outstanding rally than if Bitcoin is below the 20-day moving average. Well, my friends, right now Bitcoin is back above it. Now, as I've said before, everyone's got Forbes on speed dial. You need to cancel those interviews. We need to wait a little bit longer. Let's see if we close above the 20-day moving average, right? We would prefer to see a candle close above the 20-day. And I mean, I don't know how long it would take Ethereum to start moving. It might not happen immediately. It could take it a few days. But one of the things to look for is if Bitcoin does stay above the 20-day, is can it stay in this region, right? As long as it's not going and putting in new all-time highs, then that is the catalyst for Ethereum. That is what ultimately will allow Ethereum to shine against Bitcoin. A Bitcoin correction, a bounce above the 20-day, not putting in new all-time highs, Ethereum is set to shine, right? This is how it works. Ethereum would be set to shine in that environment. Where it still would be set to shine against USD is if Bitcoin just continues to put in new all-time highs, right? And then we more or less just kick the can down the road. We kick the analysis down the road. We say, well, in this environment, Ethereum's probably going to rally back up if Bitcoin goes into price discovery mode, and Ethereum USD will likely do quite well. This is fine. Patience. Time is on our side. Then the same thing happens. The game continues. We likely see Ethereum slowly move up. The Ethereum Bitcoin valuation in that environment would likely bleed, but then eventually we repeat the same type of analysis. Remember, it's not a day trading game in my opinion. It's more of these sort of macro swing trades. It's going to be really hard to make money day trading. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that'll claim that they're doing it, which is fine. But in terms of for most people, including myself, I don't really think day trading is that useful in crypto. Just let these major momentum shifts play out. Right, let those major momentum shifts play out, exactly like the one we said we were hoping to start in January for the Ether Bitcoin valuation. So at this point, I would say Ethereum is still in its overvaluation reaccumulation phase of a lifetime. As long as it's well above the regression band, I don't think that's going to change. And I don't think that Ethereum will go back to the regression band in the immediate future. Right? I think Ethereum will likely have a move above 10K or above 2K before it goes back to the regression band. I don't think it might not go to the regression band for years. So I think it'll have a move above 2K before going back to the regression band. And that's why I'm saying this is the overvaluation reaccumulation range. It's not the reaccumulation phase of a lifetime. It's not the accumulation phase of a lifetime. It's fairly extended, but because of how far extended Bitcoin is, I still think Ethereum has room to move. Now, the absolute bottom for the Ether Bitcoin valuation, I don't know exactly where it's going to be. Right now, the bottom has been about 0.03. Maybe 0.03 is the bottom. I could honestly even see it potentially going to 0.028 as a potentially. I'm not saying that is going to happen, but I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if it could even bleed down to 0.028. But the nice thing is if Bitcoin stabilizes at 52K, 51K, 53K, then I think you're going to start to see Ethereum run. Okay, I think you're going to start to see Ethereum make moves, and then people will be happy about Ethereum again. Now, don't be surprised if other coins also start to outperform Ethereum even, right? We've seen that before. I would not be surprised to see other coins moving before Ethereum necessarily, and that doesn't mean that Ethereum can't make moves. If you go back to 2017, there were a lot of coins that had some major peaks in, say, January 5th for ADA, January, a few days later for Link. And Ethereum was moving during that time, but it was just that the Ethereum rally continued, and I think it was because people were taking profits from their altcoins back into Ethereum, back into Bitcoin, back into fiat. So it doesn't mean that altcoins can't run if Ethereum starts going. It's just that if you get that Ethereum tsunami like we're wanting, it's that Ethereum will keep going despite the fact that its market capitalization is much higher than these other altcoins. And then hopefully the altcoins that are putting in better gains than Ethereum, then I would imagine that the gains from these altcoins would then be bleeding or going back into coins like Ethereum to continue to fuel that rally. So where are we currently? Well, the valuation of Ethereum right now is at 1629. We hit as low as around $1,300 a few days ago. So we are getting a nice bounce back here. And of course, a lot of this will be contingent on Bitcoin staying above the 20-day, right? We would like Bitcoin to maintain its presence above the 20-day moving average. If it can, this is a good catalyst for altcoins to start moving. So if a couple days go by, or if a relatively short period of time goes by and Bitcoin is not putting in new all-time highs, I would start to look to altcoins, right? Look to altcoins, start to see they might start making some moves. It's not a surprise when they do it. A lot of times it's the same thing every time. Just expect if it stabilizes here for a little bit, doesn't even have to put in a new all-time high, then altcoins can make some moves. By the way, if you guys like the content, remember to subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. We're still at only 450 likes. Let's get to 1,000 likes. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. Let's go for 160,000 subscribers, right? Why the hell not? Let's go for 160,000 subscribers. So definitely subscribe. Now, what are some other coins that we follow? We follow Bitcoin. Bitcoin's doing what it needs to do to catalyze an altcoin move. Ethereum is sort of biding its time. It doesn't mean it's not going to move. At least, I would say, let's get at least a daily close above the 20-day, and we'll have a daily close in about 6.5 hours. So wait to see, or at least I'm not saying wait to do anything, but I would say there'd be a lot more, I think there'd be a more confidence in the market if Bitcoin's actually closing above the 20-day, because if this just ends up being a wick and we close below it, then we might kick the can down the road. You can see we had a wick here that in fact went 11 or 12% above the 20-day, and we still closed below it. So I would say let's see if we get a close above the 20-day moving average, and if we get a close above it, then that would probably be pretty good for the altcoin market. Let's take a look at Link. Link is doing relatively well. I'm excited to say that Link is now above its 20-day moving average. It fell below it for about a week and a half here. It's now above it. You can see it was sort of holding as support above the 20-day for a while, starting at around $12. And now it briefly moved below it. Now we're getting back above it. Hopefully we can hold the 20-day moving average as support for Link. That's at around $30.21. A lot of times Link will come through in the clutch for us, and this is why it's one of the coins I hold in my portfolio. However, nothing to get out of bed for yet. The Link Bitcoin valuation is still technically in a bear market if you're assuming the bull market support band is any indication. The Link Ether valuation is still in a bear market. It almost looks like it's sort of coiling up here, right? And it's kind of closing in on this. We'll see if we break out to the upside or if we get hammered back down. But Link is doing relatively well, back at $31. I've always said, in my opinion, for the duration of the cycle, Link is too risky not to hold. I said it at $1, I said it at $2, at $8, at $12, at $20, at $31. I'll keep saying it. Link, in my opinion, for the cycle, is too risky not to hold. I will be looking for a 3-figure Link this cycle, for sure. I mean, a lot of people will throw around a $1,000 Link in a year. There's a decent chance it does not make it anywhere close to $1,000. I'm just being honest. There's a lot of YouTubers that will tell you every coin known to man is about to do 1000x. These guys are not doing you any favors, and I'm just being honest with you. These guys are not doing you any favors. They're just making clickbait garbage, and they're not backing it up with anything other than, hey, let me pump it up because I have a bag of it, and I want my bag to do well. Therefore, I'm gonna pump. That's the idea. Don't fall for this, and especially on lower cap coins. They might not be able to influence the market as much on higher cap coins. On lower cap coins, they can. And this is what you have to be wary of, because they'll get these micro cap coins, they'll load up on them, they'll tell their inner circle about it, then they'll pump it, and then they'll dump it on you. Don't fall for that garbage, because they do it all the time. And what's worse that they do is sometimes they get paid to shill these projects, and they don't always disclose it, and then they still dump it on you. So don't fall for that garbage, because it's out there. There's a few good channels, okay? There's a few good channels, and but if you're looking at ones that are just telling you everything's going to make you, a multimillionaire if you invest $1,000 today and just wait a couple weeks, it's garbage, right? It's garbage, and I would say don't even give it the time of day. Ethereum's starting to make a little bit of a move. It's actually at 1635. The Ethereum Bitcoin valuation is currently at 0.0318. Obviously, and do you guys notice how often it's at 0.0314? Because I mean, the only reason I notice it is because it's pi, right? 031415, or what is it? 3.14125. I don't know. I can't even think right now. 3.14126. I don't know. I used to know it. Anyways, it seems to fluctuate around its pi valuation, 314. Right now it's at 318. Keep an eye on the Ether Bitcoin valuation. Hopefully we see a breakout here, actually. But don't schedule the Forbes interviews on that. Yeah, there it is, 3.1415926. Yeah, 26. And I think after 6, it's a 3, right? It's a 3, right? It's either a 3 or a 5. I think it's a 3. There's a lot of those channels, guys. It's not just one channel. There's a lot of these channels that will pump and they'll dump it. They'll dump it all. And they'll do it at the expense of their followers, and it's ridiculous that they do it, but they do it. And that's what they do. So just keep that in mind. If you're new to the market and you're seeing these flashy titles of every coin going to 100x from here, it's probably not going to happen. I mean, a lot of the coins are already up a lot, right? I mean, like DOT is already up over 10x. So could it put in another 10x this market cycle? Maybe, right? Maybe it could put another 10x. Could it go 100x? No, not this cycle. Almost certainly not. I mean, maybe 10 years from now or next cycle or something, but 6 years from now, a $3,700 DOT is almost assuredly not happening this market cycle. So don't fall for that type of stuff. Link, in terms of Link, I really like Link, and I do think it will go to 3 figures this cycle. I'm just being honest, right? I'm not trying to shill it and say, I think it's going to go to some amazing number. I do think it does have 3 figures in store for it. Okay, I do think it has 3 figures in store for it. But I would be very weary of the people that are going to shout at you that it's going to go to 1,000, because I don't think it will make it to 1,000 this market cycle by any means. Wouldn't be sad if I didn't, or I wouldn't be upset if it did. One thing I should say about Link, though, is to some degree it doesn't even have a market cycle like the rest of the market. If you look at Link's valuation, it still goes up in the bear market. So, it's just calling a Link market cycle is even somewhat dubious in and of itself, because it does tend to stand the test of time. So I'm not saying that Link can eventually go to those crazy valuations, but I would say let's walk before we run. Let's focus on a 3-figure Link before assuming it's going to go to $1,000 or something, which I doubt would happen this cycle. Now, ADA is another one that's getting pumped beyond all belief. It's currently at what are we at? 124. This is good, right? I mean, I would never have invested in ADA if I didn't think it couldn't make it to the prior all-time high. So I think this is good that it's at 124, and it's actually holding relatively strong at 124. Could it go another few X from here? Certainly, right? Yeah, I mean, it could go to $3, it could go to $5. Maybe it could go a little bit higher than that. $10 is getting pretty high. The people telling you $100 ADA or that type of stuff, I don't really have any words for that. Okay, so let's go back. Ethereum's at 1632. Bitcoin's back at 51,228. So if you're looking for a Bitcoin close above the 20-day moving average, I would look towards 50K, right? It looks like the 20-day moving average is now at around 50K. So if we close on the daily above 50K, then that's probably fairly bullish for a lot of altcoins, assuming it maintains these levels in this area and doesn't go into new all-time highs and doesn't go back below the 20-day. That would be really good for altcoins. Very good for altcoins. Yeah, I mean, if you look at CoinMarketCap, for ADA to go, I mean, it's one thing to say it when it's early in the cycle to go 50x because it's already done that. For ADA to go to $50, which is what I've seen thrown around, it would need to go to a market capitalization that's well higher than Bitcoin's current market capitalization. And I don't think we're like, if you had said a 50x when it was at 2 cents, which is what we said, by the way, then yeah, it makes sense. If you're saying a 50x at 124 when the market capitalization is already 40 billion, you're looking at a $2 trillion market cap for ADA. I'm sorry, that's almost assuredly not happening this market cycle. We're not going to see a $2 trillion market capitalization for ADA, almost certainly not. If it happens, I'll be the first to say I was wrong. But if you're believing that it's going to go to a $50 ADA this market cycle, then you're simply drinking someone else's Kool-Aid, is what you're doing. And it's probably not going to end well for you in terms of if you think that it has to go to a $50 ADA because some random person told you that. Now Link is looking good. I mean, it's at 31.30. Let's take a look at the dollar. So the dollar is looking fairly, again, when the dollar's moving up, crypto enters a bear market typically. And the dollar moved up in 2018 and it moved up in 2014. That's when we know we had a crypto bear market. What you don't want, if you follow crypto and you don't want crypto to sort of calm down for a while, you should at least follow DXY, right? You should follow the US dollar currency index and hope that it doesn't go above the bull market support band. Because if it has like a decisive move like it had last April, or April of 2018, I should say, if it has a candle like this again, where it just goes up 2% or 1% in a week and decisively goes above the bull market support, that's probably not good for Bitcoin. So I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying to keep an eye on it, because if you see the dollar start to move above the 20-day moving average and hold it on the weekly time frame, keep an eye on that. The dollar currently is at 91, or the 20-week on the dollar is at 91.146. We're currently at 90.921. So I'm just saying keep an eye on it. Last time we came here was in 2018. We trended sideways for 98 days before making a decisive move. Here we've been trending sideways for about 91 days. So just something to keep an eye on. Again, it could just get hammered down. It got hammered down here. And it got hammered down here. So, and also got hammered down here if you see that wick. So it's not to say that it's going to break above it. If it does, it's not good for altcoins. It's not good for crypto in general. So let's see. By the way, if you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe. Definitely subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. Check out the Telegram channel. By the way, if you guys want to join the Telegram channel, we have over 19,000 people. You guys should check it out. I'll post it in the chat. Definitely check out the Telegram channel. And remember, if you guys want access to the premium list, you can lock in the sale rate. I'll post that in the channel as well. You get access to the weekly reports and videos, the Telegram alerts channel, the risk dashboard, and more, and the trading view indicator. So what are we looking for? We're looking for Bitcoin to close above the 20-day and to hold that area. We want it above the 20-day and below the prior all-time high if you're looking for altcoins to make a move. Okay, that's what you're looking for. So you're looking for a little bounce like this. That would be good for altcoins. Do you guys have any questions on the coins we talk about? I don't mean just show me your favorite coin. I don't know what's gonna happen in the short term. Is there more room for Cardano to go up? I think so. I think there's more room for ADA to move up. I mean, obviously it depends on a relatively healthy Bitcoin, but if Bitcoin holds these levels, I do think there's room for ADA to go up. I would say to keep an eye on the ADA Ether valuation, because if it does start going up again from here and Ether hasn't had a sustained rally, then keep an eye on the ADA Ether valuation, because it is in fairly extended territory right now. It doesn't mean it can't go higher. We've seen it go up to this level before. So theoretically, if it were to go to that level, it could go up another 80% against Ethereum. So, yeah, I mean, it could theoretically go up, but again, I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen in the short term. It will depend on the health of Bitcoin. Do I see Cardano taking the #1 spot? No. What will Ethereum get to this market cycle? My guess is that it'll go up several thousand more dollars from where it currently is sort of my guess. I mean, I've always been somewhat skeptical of it making it to 10K, but I think it could make it to 10K, but I don't want, that's not like a price prediction you can take to the bank, right? I mean, like, if it goes to 8 or 9K, I'll probably be running for the hills with my profits, and maybe I'll leave a little bit on the table to take profits at 10K. But I would say to look towards several multiple from here, I would assume, over the duration of the cycle, in anyways. Do I think it's too risky to buy ADA at $1.12? I think it depends on your perspective, okay? And I've said this before. Am I buying ADA at $1.12? No, right? I mean, I'm not buying ADA at $1.12. I was buying it at 2 cents and 3 cents and up to 10 cents on the channel. If you go back and look at the channel, we had like at least probably 5 or 10 videos saying that ADA below 10 cents was one hell of a buy. So no, I'm not buying ADA at $1.12, but that doesn't mean that I don't think it can't go up. It's just a way that I manage my risk, right? I'm not going to FOMO into something that I already have a decent position on, and it's already up 60x. I'm not going to FOMO into something that's up that much, but I do have a decent ADA position, and I would like it to go up higher. But no, I would not be buying it personally. I would not be buying it at these levels. I'll let the new money buy it. I don't want to buy it at a 60x appreciation in 1 year. But I'm happy for other people to buy it and to pump my portfolio up. Ethereum's at 1610. Bitcoin's pulled back a little bit, back to below 51. I'm guessing that people are waiting to see if if Bitcoin's actually going to close below the 20-day, or if it's just a wick and we'll be back below it in a few hours. We'll see what happens, of course, but. Yeah, I mean, maybe some people say, there's no reason not to buy ADA. And again, one of the things I've said is I'm not buying it. It's because I already have a decent position. If you don't have a position, then maybe coming into the market isn't the worst idea in the world, right? If I didn't have a position in it, then maybe I would be buying it. It all depends on your perspective, right? It depends on your perspective. Yeah, we already spoke about. Did we speak about DOT? I mean, DOT is the DOT train continues, right? Just bouncing off the 20-day, at $5, at $8, at $16, and at $31. The ADA train, or the DOT train continues. Oh yeah, if I didn't have any Chainlink, would I buy it? Yeah, for sure. For sure. Not financial advice, of course. That goes along with the line of thinking of it, being too risky not to hold. Obviously, when I say that, anytime it has a correction, people get upset, but it does tend to stand the test of time and generally trend up. What price do I think Bitcoin will hit this cycle? My guess, again, as I said before, is somewhere between $100,000 to $200,000. But I don't think that it's necessarily going to go there next month, right? I mean, it depends on what you mean by cycle. I would assume the cycle is going to to last a while. So I mean, maybe it goes there sooner than I think, but I would say somewhere between $100,000 to $200,000. Someone says, will Litecoin finally move? Well, you guys know my thoughts on Litecoin, right? I mean, it will trend up against USD. It will occasionally have pumps, but if you calculate out your risk-adjusted returns, if you look at the Litecoin Ethereum valuation, if you look at the Litecoin Bitcoin valuation, it tends to just bleed, right? It tends to just bleed, right? And let me show you the Litecoin Ethereum valuation while we're talking about it, right? So this is what I've said before. Everyone always claims anytime Litecoin gets a nice little pump, everyone's like, "Oh, I told you so." But look at this. I mean, again, if starting from April of 2019, the Litecoin Ether valuation is down 80%. So if you bought Litecoin here as opposed to Ethereum, your valuation would be down 80% against what it could have been had you just bought Ethereum. So I'm not saying that Litecoin won't trend up against USD. It probably will as the market trends up. Are we back? Hopefully we're back. All right, I'm back. That's too bad. That's too bad you guys didn't hear me because I broke down my portfolio by percent while I was talking. But I guess I went out during that time. So now we'll never know. So remember the things to look out for altcoins to rally, right? You want to see daily closes above the 20-day moving average. So keep an eye on the 20-day. If you're curious, the 20-day right now is right above $50,000. Everyone's always asking me my opinion on random coins. You know, there's a lot of people that'll pretend to have like some expert opinion on any random altcoin because they'll just pull up a chart, and then start talking about it. But remember, like I'm not going to pretend to have I'm not going to have opinions on coins that I don't that I don't investigate, that I don't really study myself. So if you're asking me what my opinions are on a coin that I haven't really spoken about on the channel, then there's a good chance, I would say 95% chance, that I'm not going to give you an answer because I just simply am not going to start spouting BS, essentially, that this is the idea. So don't feel the need to constantly ask me my opinion on random altcoins that are, maybe not even in the top 100 or something. I mean, if we look at the top coins, Bitcoin I own, Ethereum I own, ADA I own. I don't own Binance Coin, but I've said before that I think it's probably going to hang around in the top coins. I don't necessarily see it as the top 3, but it made it to the top 3. So Tether is it's a stable coin. Polkadot I think is doing relatively well. XRP, with the SEC stuff, it's hard to really say. Litecoin I think will bleed out of the top 10. Link I'm hoping to move up. Bitcoin Cash I think will move out. Stellar don't really have a huge opinion on, but maybe it'll stay in this region. I don't necessarily see Stellar moving to say the top 5 or anything. I've said before I think Uniswap is generally a top 20 coin, so its valuation will likely be whatever it needs to be approximately in the top 20. Maybe it'll poke its head in the top 10 occasionally. So By the way, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I'm not sure what we're at, but let's check. We are at 154,000. Make sure you guys subscribe. Let's go for 155,000. So definitely subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. We're not even at 1,000 likes. We're still putting in rookie numbers. Also, I'll remind you at the Telegram channel, I'll post it in the chat. And by the way, if you want an outlet on shilling your microcaps, I have the perfect channel for you. The perfect channel. I created one just for you guys to have a place to go talk about these coins. We have almost 5,000 people. It's called Into the Cryptocosm. Into the Cryptocosm. I'm going to paste it in the chat right now. So if you want to go talk about microcaps, you can shill your bags there. Yeah, I think it has 4,370 members right now. It looks like a lot of you guys are joining it. And we also have the main public channel with over 19,000 members. We actually also have another chat room you guys might like. I know most people here probably don't care about stocks, but if you do, we have a Telegram channel called Into the Equityverse if you want to go talk about stocks, like especially things like GameStop and whatnot. So I'll post that in the chat as well. Yeah, for VeChain, we talk about it some. We do talk about it some. I mainly just look at the VeChain Ether valuation, and we'll see where it is. So it's still down here. Why does the stream keep going out? So I would say to keep an eye on this move, right? If it goes back to the top of the channel, that might be something to keep an eye on. I even recently upgraded to gigabit internet, and it's still doing this. And my internet connection is like fine. I don't know why. I really don't know why YouTube does this. Like nothing is wrong with my internet connection at all. It just sometimes YouTube just decides to cut the video. Am I here? Like, can you guys hear me, or are we offline now? I don't even know if you guys can hear me. Everyone's posting F in the chat. Alright, I guess we're back. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll try to keep you updated on a lot of these coins. Do you guys have a ticket for the DOT train yet? I mean, it's one hell of a train. You know, one thing to consider that you can do to sort of set yourself up for the future, potentially, is if you have certain coins, you can, not only can you earn interest through decentralized finance, there's also centralized finance, which, I mean, I know is somewhat antithetical to cryptocurrency, but you can still make money doing it. One of the nice things is if you're earning these high interest rates, which probably won't stay high forever, but I mean, it can help set you up for life, right? If you accumulate a cryptocurrency and then it goes up 10x, and then you're earning 12%, 10%, 6%, that can, that type of income can really help you out later on, and then you can sort of like try to live partially off the interest. Just something to keep in mind. Obviously, there's the idea of trading crypto, but you can also establish positions in coins you like, and then earn interest on them, and then hopefully that interest will grow to be a sizable amount. So what other questions do you guys have? Looks like Bitcoin's back at 51.4. Ethereum's back at around 1630 or so. So hopefully if Bitcoin stabilizes, I mean, whether it stabilizes or not, or if Bitcoin either goes up, if Bitcoin keeps going up, Ether USD likely goes up. And if Bitcoin stabilizes, then there's a decent chance Ether USD could continue going up. Our current local top here today, anyways, was around 52.6. So I made it to like 52,652 on Bitstamp. So it's a ways above the current valuation. Yeah, I mean, if you have coins that are up a lot, you have to figure out what your own risk tolerance is. You can always take profits, right, and put them into something safer, and you don't necessarily have to be sad if the price of the asset you sold keeps going up, because you have to recognize you don't know where the top is, and it doesn't mean you have to do an all-in or all-out approach, right? I mean, all the cryptocurrencies that I accumulate, I tend to, when I take profits, I still leave some on the table so that if it keeps going up, I can still benefit from that. By the way, if you guys don't want to sign up at the website for the premium list, we also actually do have a Patreon. It's sort of kind of a relic, but I still have that. Let's take a look at Ether Bitcoin. I was showing this on a linear scale the other day and saying, well, lines are pretty much worthless, but let's just draw one and see. I mean, this is why I say, it could go down to 0.028 potentially, and I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if it did. We've seen these things bleed before. It could turn around here for sure, right? I wouldn't be surprised if it turned around, but I also did not necessarily think it was going to go to 0.0226 back in December, and it had a wick down there. So I would say let's take it one step at a time. First, we want to see Bitcoin close above the 20-day. That's the first thing, and we have to wait another 6 hours before we can decisively say if it closed above the 20-day or not. I like how people ask me questions like, I know you don't talk about microcaps, but what do you think of this one? Like, that's not going to garnish a response out of me. They're the same thing. The Patreon and the website are the same thing. Yeah, I don't run ads here or anything like that. No paid promotions, just that stuff. So if you want to support the channel, that's how you can do it. And we're not going to stay on stream, until the daily close, because it's another 6 hours. If we pull up the regression band, why don't we pull that up and look at some of the logarithmic regression stuff. So if we pull up the regression band, we actually briefly went into it. If you're curious where it is today, it ranges from 58.6K up to 86.4. So that would be sort of where I would be looking if the pump continues to start to really question how high it can go in the short term, with at least having some type of a pullback. But right now it ranges from, again, 58.6K up to 86.4. This is where we had prior peaks occur, but we're not there yet, and I don't know how long it's going to take us to get there. Would I wax an eyebrow for 1 Bitcoin? What kind of question is that? Why would I do that? No. Someone keeps asking me, is this a dead cat bounce? I mean, it could be. This is why you can always take some off the table if you're worried about that. But remember, if it is a dead cat bounce, then alts could still rally, right? If it's a dead cat bounce that lasts a couple weeks, then alts could still rally in this area. Brian says I don't talk about taxes enough. Crypto to crypto swaps are taxable events. I actually talk about them on the premium list a decent amount. But you know, Brian is one of these guys that also doesn't consider the fact that people live in places other than home, and where I live, crypto to crypto trades are taxable. But just saying things like that and applying it to everyone is obviously not true, because there are plenty of countries where crypto to crypto trades are not taxable. In the United States, they are. So I've always said, you know, getting to long-term capital gains a year is a lot better than trading and having to pay, like, you know, 40% or something for short-term capital gains. But don't assume that your tax situation is the same as everyone else's. That's a big mistake. I've made that mistake myself, but that's just something to keep in mind. Should we bet the family farm on Link? I would say it's never a good idea to bet the family farm. Would I still buy DOT if I didn't have any? Yes. Yeah, I mean, this band is still increasing, right? I mean, it curves over some, but we can kind of get a rough estimate if you just sort of draw it out like this. You can see that maybe by you know, a year from now, the lower band would be around 77,000, give or take, and the upper band might be at 115,000 or 110,000, somewhere in that ballpark. It's not to say that we can't go above it, right? I mean, we could go above it. It's only fit to three peak data points. This one, and then there's one more. We don't have it on this chart because it's not the BLX, but which shows, well, we had another peak over here in 2011 that went up into this range. So I would say that we can always go above it. It's not something you can take to the bank. It's just a fit to 3 data points of this equation, right? 10 to the A ln of x minus b, fit to 3 data points. That's what you get with some uncertainty band. If I were to buy a coin today, would it be Ethereum, ADA, Link, or DOT? I mean, I don't necessarily. I mean, you could always get a bag, right, of multiple coins. I think ADA would be a little bit more risky. I mean, I think ADA will trend higher for sure. Like this cycle, I think it will go higher, but I mean, it's already up 60x, so I would say that one's probably riskier at the current moment. But I mean, the fact that it's holding 124 after a 60x move is somewhat impressive. So I just would not be surprised to see a $2 ADA in the not so distant future if these market conditions for Bitcoin stay the same. So I don't know. I mean, I think they're all relatively good choices. If you have more of a macro outlook, I think they're relatively good choices. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 155,000 subscribers. We're at 154,574 right now. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. And as another reminder, we do have the Telegram channel. I'll post that in the comments. You guys should check out that Telegram channel. We almost have 20,000 people. So if you want to get in early to the Telegram channel, get in before we get to 20K. We might hold resistance at 20K. So if you join, you can help us break that resistance. All right. You guys know the drill, right? You know what to look out for. Market looks relatively good right now. Let's hope Bitcoin stays above the 20-day. We also have the other, I'll pull up another regression chart. Actually, why don't we pull up the BLX? Let's stop playing in the sandbox here. Let's pull up the BLX so we can actually see further back. So another chart we like to look at is our regression rainbow, right? We like to look at that. Let's look at it. Regression rainbow. Here it is. Okay. So the general idea is we do not, from one peak to another, we tend to drop down some of these log lines. Now before we said, okay, it's dropped 2.5. This one, if you assume, I mean, this one we're already only down 2. So that somewhat dubious extrapolation obviously didn't pan out. But you can see that this peak was in the red, or the pink band, the red band up here. The next one dropped down a few and actually peaked in the purple one. The next one dropped down a few and peaked in this one. Right now we're currently just still in this green one right here. We're still, 2 log bands away from it, from where the last one peaked. And by the way, it's interesting because it did come straight up to the top of this log band and come back down, which was also, we've seen that here, right? We had a top, and a bottom, and then we were sort of riding this one for a little while, and then we ended up not breaking it again here. And then we just ended up dropping. And then if you continue to go out, we held it as we held this one anyways as resistance here in 2019. And then now we finally broke through it, right? We finally broke through it to this one up here, which is also sort of a resistance right here. So yeah, just something to keep in mind for sure. See some other regions where we cross below it. So, I mean, if you're curious, where is this one? Where's the upper part of the band is now at $62,000. So, I mean, a few weeks ago it was at like 60K. Now the upper part is at 62K. The structure of the prior cycle was a lot cleaner, by the way, too, than this one. Because not only did we have a move back to this band, but we also moved down to this one as well. So this one was a lot cleaner. This one was a lot more. There was a lot more intra-market cycle volatility, I should say. Do I think that Bitcoin can break previous models? Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of models could theoretically break, right? I mean, we use the models. All the models are wrong. Some of them are useful, and this is why we say, we use them the best we can, but I don't think any specific model you should bet the family farm on. What did I study? Math and nuclear engineering. Minor in physics, too. Make sure you guys subscribe, by the way. Subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. Hey look, there's a guy impersonating me in the chat. The scum of the earth, right? And by the way, I will not message you. If these guys are messaging you, they're absolutely ridiculous. They should probably work on getting a real job. Don't pay these guys any attention, the ones that pretend to be me. I literally think they are like scum, in my opinion. These guys that pretend to be me and try to get money from you. Just ignore them. You can go tell them to, you know what, I will not message you. I will not ask for your phone number. I will not ask you to send crypto to some exchange or anything like that. So you can go tell these guys off. Anytime you see someone pretending to be me in the comments, and by the way, you'll know if it's me because I'll have a check mark by my name. If you don't see the check mark by my name, they're just scammers, right? And tell them off. You feel free to tell them off, and I won't delete your comment. You have all the right to do that. Looks like Bitcoin is at 51.5 again. No, I do delete the scammers comments when I can, but I mean, you know, they're posting like 500 comments a day, and YouTube has not come up with a system yet where I can just click hide all these person's comments. Like I can hide their future comments, but I can't just remove all their prior comments. So whoever these guys are, right? I mean, I do feel bad for them that they don't do anything more productive with their life. Just pretending to be other people. Their life is so bad they have to pretend to be other people and scam people. All right, Bitcoin's 51.6. Now, what's interesting, right, is as we always discuss, if it gets above the 20-day and settles down, but don't if we're deterministic, right, it can haunt us. We always have to consider the possibility of it putting in a new all-time high and going back into price discovery mode. So don't discount that possibility. Don't discount that possibility because it could happen, and we want to be ready for it if it does. So don't completely discount that it will just settle down here. I mean, it could just get rejected, but if it goes back up, if it goes above 58.3, then it's back in price discovery mode. So this would be a big event because then it's like, okay, well, how high are we going to go now? The last time we broke through the prior all-time high at 42K, we went up to 58.3, which was another 39% jump from the prior all-time high. I mean, if we were to do another 39% from the prior all-time high, which was 58.3, that would put us at 81.6. Just to give you an idea, that would put us at 81.6. Yeah. Have you guys seen the jokes from like, all right, Bitcoin breaks 1.5 million, Ethereum still struggling to break 2K? When do I think alts will start to rally hard? Well, alts can rally really, really well whenever it's like really obvious that Bitcoin is sort of calmed down for a few days at a bullish level. That's when they'll rally. And a lot of times not really a moment before. They'll have decent days here and there, but if you're looking for those 100% gains or something on coins in a single week or a couple days, you would like to see Bitcoin volatility calm down for the most part. And right now, we just broke above the 20-day. We're at 51.5. I think we need a little bit of time. I mean, we haven't even had one daily close above the 20-day moving average yet, and we're not going to get one until at least another 5.5 hours, almost 6 hours or so. So I would say for altcoins to make really major moves, we need to be printing daily closes above the 20-day, but below Bitcoin's prior all-time high. And again, if it goes above the prior all-time high, a lot of USD valuations of cryptocurrencies can get dragged up with it. Yeah, Ethereum hasn't really made a move yet. I mean, I know people are excited about a 1630 Ethereum, but I don't think it's necessarily anything to get out of bed for. Um, I mean, wake me up when it gets to 2K, and then we'll discuss price discovery mode. Until then, again, we're still just playing in the sandbox with Ethereum. Um, so let's see if it can get back to 2K, and then from there we'll set our sights on 2,500, 3,000, and we'll see how high we can go. But right now Ethereum's just playing in the sandbox still at 1630. If someone says he just bought the premium membership, yeah, it's email only. But you'll get the welcome email that'll take you to all the prior content. Just check your spam or promotions tab for the welcome email. What are my favorite books on the shelf behind you? Well, most of those are just college and graduate school textbooks. There are some other ones that are not textbooks. Yeah, Dot is doing very well. This is why we say um, the Dot train, right? The Dot train. This is why, I said a long time ago, it's probably not a bad idea to get a ticket on the Dot train. And we said this will be the accumulation phase over here. We'll look back on it and see what a great accumulation phase it was, and here we are. Now it's moving up the 20-day, just continuing to move up. Do I stand by my opinion that Link is too risky not to hold? Yes, I do. Do I think Ethereum's valuation will reach 0.1 this cycle against Bitcoin? Uh, yeah, I think it can reach 0.1. But you also have to remember too that when Ethereum reached that high valuation last cycle, I think it went like 0.15 or something. It was after Bitcoin had a correction. So a lot of times the peak Ether Bitcoin valuation does not actually come at Bitcoin's peak. So you might say, oh well, if Bitcoin goes to, let's say Bitcoin goes to $150,000. And you're assuming that then if Ethereum goes to 0.1, then Ethereum has to be at 15,000. That's not necessarily true, because if Bitcoin goes to 150K and then has a sizable correction to 100, or like let's say 100K, and then Ethereum goes up to 0.1, then maybe that puts Ethereum at 10K. So it really does depend on when it does it, because and a lot of times it doesn't do it at Bitcoin's peak. No financial advice here. What are my thoughts on NFTs? Yeah, non-fungible tokens. I think it's going into some, I mean, it's definitely. I think that NFTs will be a decent, I think there's a lot of value there, and hopefully they can expand beyond things like digital art and that sort of stuff, which I mean they already are, but I'm hoping more practical, like being able to prove ownership of your house on the blockchain and whatnot. I was actually thinking about launching my own, but I'm not actually sure if I want to. I'm kind of debating whether I want to go that route or not. Okay, looks like Ethereum's at 1634. Let's see if we can keep pushing higher. Someone says, Ben just messaged me and asked for Bitcoin. Is that a scammer? Yes. If you join the Telegram channel and someone immediately messaged you, it's not me. You can go tell them to, just, or you can play, you can mess with them and pretend like you're interested and just waste their time like they're wasting yours. But they're not me. I'm not messaging you. And if someone's messaging you on Telegram channel right now pretending to be me, it's clearly not me. I'm talking to you guys, right? I mean, my hands are up here. I'm not messaging anyone right now. All right, let's see. Let's see what the Ether Bitcoin. It's still at 0.0316. So again, nothing to get too excited about yet. Yeah, I guess the nice thing if you do waste the scammer's time, then it's a little bit less time they'll be scamming other people. I'm going to post in the Telegram channel right now to tell people to ignore people pretending to be me. $16.31 Ethereum. Is this not a great time to be in crypto or what, right? I mean, makes you wonder, like, what would we be doing? One of the nice things, because we're in the pandemic, it's really nice that crypto is doing something, because it gives us something else to focus on, because there's so many things we can't do. This is kind of like the silver lining, right? Make a lot of money, so when the world does open back up, you can go do stuff with it. All right. Well, we've been going for over an hour. Should we wrap it up? Remember to subscribe to the channel. We're still not at 155,000 subscribers, so we're at 154,620. We need 4 or 380 people to sign up or to subscribe to get to 155. So definitely subscribe. Someone says I should end with the summary of Bitcoin. Well, my summary for Bitcoin is usually Bitcoin goes up and Bitcoin goes down, but it usually goes up. That's generally the summary that you need. Do I prefer the piece of paying off a mortgage even with record low rates? You can always set up a lower risk account and just try to pay your mortgage with interest payments. It's always an option. Just kind of get the security, and then you'll have more future money to put into risky investments if you get things taken care of. Right? There's nothing wrong with getting some of your debts taken care of so that you have more money in the future to play around with crypto. So taking profits can be a good thing. Doesn't mean you have to take everything off the table, but getting your debts figured out and that sort of stuff can be a good thing. What time of day does the daily close happen? It's just UTC time. So just so you're aware, wherever you are in the world, if you're curious when the daily close is that everyone watches, it's 5 hours and 37 minutes from now, basically. So whatever that is for you, you can figure out what that time is in your time zone and know that the daily close is in 5 hours and 36 minutes and 42 seconds. Yeah, I mean the premium list is like general DCing into the market, trying to take profits along the way. Weekly reports on special topics some recently we did one on like earning interest and stuff, getting that well-oiled machine going. We talk a lot about different topics. We have a risk dashboard to try to understand where we are within say various risk levels for various cryptocurrencies. We have a Telegram alerts channel where I post daily updates. Sometimes hourly updates. We have a chat room that you can join. You get the TradingView indicators, and if you're looking for some of these indicators that we show, like the bull market support band, the regression bands, the regression rainbow, all that sort of stuff, you'll get that as well when you sign up. And we actually have something else coming really soon too, but I'm not going to mention it yet. All right, so make sure you guys subscribe. I think we'll wrap it up here. The markets are sort of just kind of chilling right now at 51.5 for Bitcoin, 1630 for Ethereum. No major moves over the last hour. So, yeah, I mean, sometimes I do one-on-one stuff, but not frequently. Make sure you subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll watch the market unfold. If things start to get really heated, we'll probably come back on stream. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time. Bye.